So, first time in the Wood Gym,
Yes.
the official Leominster
Yeah.
High Gym.
Yeah. So finally we're moving on up to the big stage.
And how did that happen?
We just asked the AD for it. They didn't have anything else going on, and because it's our senior night tonight, they decided to let us have the wooden gym.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we'll wrestle wherever we get the space, so it doesn't really matter to us.
That goes back. When I wrestled, it was the same thing. Most of our practices at that time, 71, 2, 3, were actually in the hallway.
Yeah. Well, we haven't moved very far. We're in the cafeteria these days, so I don't know if it's a step up or not, but we do our running in the hallways and then practicing in the cafeteria.
I think it talks to the commitment from the kids and the coaching staff. One of the things that I was surprised at, we talked the other night, you've done this 10 years.
Yeah, this is my 10th year at Leominster. It seems like it's been just yesterday that I started here, but time goes by quick, and I've had a great time doing it.
Yeah. What do you like about the coaching?
I really love the chance to be part of the sport still. There's not really many opportunities for wrestlers after college to continue participating in the sport, so I like teaching the younger kids, and I got a lot of great personalities on the team, so just kind of getting to know the kids and hanging out with them, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And you wrestled in college.
Yeah, I did. I went to Williams College, and I was a 4-year wrestler there. I wrestled my freshman year at 165, and then the rest of the time I was a 157-pounder, and I was captain my senior year.
Congrats.
Thank you.
College wrestling is really tough stuff. I assume you wrestled in high school.
Yep.
And you went on to college, and you wrestled varsity 4 years?
Yes.
4 years.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, going from high school to college was a big transition for me. It was kind of a little shell shock at first. It was definitely a steep learning curve. There's really no easy matches in college. Right from the get-go, I think I wrestled a former D1 kid who beat me up pretty good, and I took a lot of beatings my freshman year. But it made me a much better wrestler. So it didn't take too long for me to get up to speed. But it's definitely a different game at the college level.
This sport does beat you up, and I think it's unlike many sports. It's one of the things that, when I think back on it, that it offered as a special part that didn't come through the other sports that I was part of. You got what you got because you earned it, and you didn't get anything otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I tell the kids at the beginning every year, like a lot of times you can tell who's going to be a good basketball player, a good football player. I've seen all different types of kids be successful at wrestling, and the one thing they usually have in common is their work ethic. Right?
Yeah.
You work hard, you're going to see dividends.
Yeah. So when you were in college, I've heard stories. Now, I don't know truth, so I've got you here for a minute. Tell me, what do you remember at records, places?
I don't remember much of my record. I know I had decent records throughout my college career, but my senior year was probably my best year. I ended up probably 21-9, and then I placed third in New England's.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
From someone that did a little bit of wrestling, that's way, way impressive. And hard for people to really understand that are watching this, but I think it's important to know the quality of coaching that the Leominster High Wrestling has had for 10 years. So I think it's awesome. I have heard lots of good things about you. And maybe the last thing I'll ask you before you run off, I know you got senior.
Yeah.
What's your coaching philosophy that you try to bring into this program?
I just kind of try to instill that work ethic, that toughness that is necessary to be a good wrestler. Trying to show kind of, not only teach them wrestling, but also kind of help them grow as people.
Yeah.
Teach them responsibility and kind of what it means to be, a good person.
Yeah.
And so, day in, day out, I have them working hard, learning stuff, and, just every day we're just trying to improve. I'm not necessarily looking for them to always win, but I'm looking for them to always get better.
Yeah.
Both on and off the mat.
James, before you take off, could you just go through tonight's lineup?
Yeah, of course. So we have no 106-pounder, 113, or 120. So our first wrestler is Dorian Delgado at 126 pounds. He's our our first senior of the night. He's a second-year wrestler, tough kid. Then we got Robert Wheeler at 132. He's a freshman, first-year wrestler. He's, sticking with it. He's a tough kid too, but he's got a lot to learn. At 138, we have Tyler Bedard, who's another first-year wrestler. I believe he's a freshman as well. At 145, we have our second senior captain, which is Andre Crespo.
Yeah.
Another tough second-year wrestler.
Yeah.
152, we've got Anthony Larson. He's probably the leader of the team. Another captain, another senior. He's been wrestling for about 10 years now. At 160, we've got Dominic Pizzarella. He's another first-year wrestler, but he's a tough kid. He had to beat a couple other kids to get that spot.
Wrestle-off.
Yeah, a couple wrestle-offs. We don't have too many wrestle-offs.
Yeah, I know.
170, we have Starling Perez, another first-year wrestler. He's a senior. 182 tonight, we're going to be bumping up Antonio Thompson. He's a second-year sophomore, tough kid. Hopefully he can handle the increase in weight. And then at 195, we have Caleb Naccioni. He's another second-year sophomore. He's another tough kid. And then 220, we have Luis Avilas. He's a first-year senior. And then heavyweight, we have Zach Calladay, who's another second-year senior captain, another leader on the team.
Awesome. Before you go, I'm going to say thanks, and also I think I'm looking out here, the number of kids is impressive for a sport that is way out of mainstream. And I think when these kids do come in, they come into something that is unlike any other sport, and it's hard, it's painful, and big congrats to you for building this team and keeping these kids here.
Yeah, well, I'm always trying to get more and more numbers, but like you said, it's not for everybody. A lot of kids show up a couple days and realize they can't handle it. So, if I can keep the kids, I can. Always trying to get our numbers up.
Thanks, James.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good one. Go Devils.
All right. Wrestling's interesting. One of the things you find out is that some kids are just very private about this. This Athol lad over here on my left, he's getting himself prepared by himself. He's quiet. He just can't settle. He's amped up. He's trying to manage the energy. I suspect when we see him take the mat, we're going to see a ball of fire. I suspect that guy is a beast. It's been my experience with the private ones, the quiet ones. Now that's what I think that's what 106 looks like. That's small. Wow. And we don't have one. Next out onto the mat is 113. We don't have one of those either. Oh, here we go. Starting off with 126. Dorian will attempt to wrestle back out of a 12-0 hole that we find ourselves in because of the 2 forfeits. Each forfeit yielding 6 points each. The best Dorian can do. Finish it, come on. The best he can do is 6 points, and that's called a pin or a fall. He got 2 points because he took down Athol. Right now he's worked him into a cradle. Done correctly, this is normally deadly. Now he's starting to rack up back points. 5-second exposure of shoulders to mat yields 3 points. Dorian maintains control. Looking for the cradle again, releases that. That's a half Nelson. Finish it, Dorian, finish it. Be assertive. A little less than a minute remaining. That's a head pry, keep that, yep. 40 seconds. Okay, he's tight now. He's chest to chest. What he'll need to do, pull up on the head. He should have it right here. He should be able to close the deal. All right, there's a pin. 6 points, closing the gap. 6 Leominster, 12 Athol. We needed that. Here comes our 132 pounder and Athol's 132 pounder. I think we got a first-year wrestler here for Leominster. High school wrestling matches consist of 3 periods. 2, 2, and 2. First period is called neutral. Both wrestlers stand each other, facing. Usually you'll see them crouched over, protecting the legs. That's where the attack is usually centered, is on the legs. Reason for that, the legs are the supporting points of the wrestler. You attack the support, you're likely to take the wrestler down. Up and back down. No change. Leominster still in control. 2-0. Yeah. Almost. If he's a first-year wrestler. Okay. So the penalty point awarded to Athol is because Leominster locked hands in a non-pinning combination. Typical mistake for a new wrestler. Does take a little bit of time to learn not to do that. It's a natural inclination, no doubt about it. So you gotta unlearn that. He's gonna have to watch if he has a wrist. Okay, he broke. A lot of movement here. Both wrestlers are similar. Athol with a 1-point escape. Both wrestlers now facing each other. Score 2-1 based on that escape. 20 seconds left in the first 2-minute period. All tied up. Leominster looking for the 2-point. He finds his way to the back in control. Ahead by 2 as the first period comes to an end. Okay, the beginning of the second period. Leominster is given choice, and Leominster chooses to defer, meaning he'll have his choice in the third period. Pretty common strategy. Ties up the wrist. Yeah, keep the wrist. Athol is working for a switch. That is a 2-point play, followed by a 1-point escape by Leominster. Score should be 5-4. based on that one escape. Minute 30 in the second period. I think this one is going to come down to who's got the most gas. Both are not extremely experienced. Very out of bounds. Both men remain in the neutral position, standing facing each other. Leominster ahead by a point, 5-4. If I were to guess, I'd say both of these guys. That was a terrible mistake. And one would conclude that that mistake led to a surge of energy that was necessary to achieve a reversal. And now 3 points back and a potential pin. Come on, get the pin, tie up. A pin technically takes 2 seconds of time. Shoulder blades held flat on the mat, touching the mat. Both shoulder blades, the entire. He gets 6 points. Leominster's right back in it. 2 forfeits to start. The 2 matches that we produce wrestlers for. Back-to-back pins. We're looking at 12-12. 138. All right, 138, wow. Man, that's what I looked like. Huh, that's crazy. Oh, they don't have a 100, wow. Okay. Usually the middleweights are always populated. All right, Andre, senior captain, wrestling, 145. Captains have a special role on the team. Andre is one that performs that role well, in my opinion. Just a hard-working kid. Nice single leg, nicely done. Beautiful execution, combination of speed and mechanics. God, I like what I see out of this kid tonight. Okay, so the back points on that, 2 points. Two seconds of time where the shoulders are exposed to the mat yield 2 points. The next is 3 points from 5 seconds of exposure. Andre goes from one thing to the next. Nothing is wasted that he's doing. His hip position keeps him in a very controlled and safe position. I don't see much opportunity for reversal based on his hip position. He's tied up legs in the back. He's got a tight waist always, working a wrist, far wrist. Goes down to legs. He's got the leg tied up, so there's no change of position. He still has control. So there's, referee called that a stalemate. So that's just no action, basically. Wrestling is a sport, it's a sport of action. That is a discretionary call, however, and I can tell based on the quickness of that call, we got a ref that likes to see wrestling action. We're going to have a good night. Okay, so it was Lemister's choice again. He deferred for the third period. Andre, in my opinion, has opportunity to fix it right here in the second period, in my opinion. When it looks like there's no movement, the amount of force that it takes for two people to appear not to be moving when both are trying their hardest to move, tremendous amount of energy expenditure in those times. The force to maintain a static position when two people want to dominate and control one another. Lots of muscles firing. It's exhausting. It's not that nothing is happening. A tremendous amount of energy and force is being exerted for nothing to happen. Each is countering the other's force with an equal supply. You watch NCAA, you watch college wrestling, you'll see a lot of that. Because at the highest level, the mechanics are such, the technique is such a high level, and both people have the same measure of that. And so they meet each other's force in equal measure. And it's the smallest movement that will result in a point. Seldom do you get 2 points at the highest level. They're just that good. So we have 30 seconds remaining in the second period. So winding down. Less than 20 seconds remaining in the second period, closing out 4 full minutes of wrestling with a score of 6-0. Andre, he's got a break. Yeah, he wasn't, no bad points because the exposure has to break the 45-degree plane. And as you saw, that was 90. Andre is selecting down, and generally there's more advantage down to get 1, maybe 2 points. Andre has 2, leading now by a score of 8-0. Half Nelson, work it, work it. First point scored by Athol. No control there. Get out of there, Andre! All right. I think what I'm seeing happening here, Athol's back in it, earning a 1-point escape and a 2-point takedown. 9-3 is the score. We're into the third period. 5 minutes of wrestling have occurred. Both of these guys are tired. This is gonna come down to a decision that's just way hard to make. When you're way tired, you want to stop. You think about giving up. Because why go on? What for? And that's where decisions are made. Some decisions that you'll remember all your life. Neither wants to lose. They fight to win They fight for respect. There's 12 seconds left. 9 seconds left. Andre wants the win. He's too tired to execute a move. Athol is equally tired. That was a good match. Both guys, and they know it. They know it. They know they tried their hardest. And they give credit to their opponent, knowing that. Okay, that win by points is results in 3 more for Leominster, looking at 21-12. Okay, Anthony, you gotta work. You gotta work. Now, this is a kid we saw privately on the sideline. He has confidence about him. He has style. He's been here before. He has a technique about him. Anthony was in way deep on that shot, and that kid was able to get out of that. Hard for me to describe how hard it was for him to get out of that. It was hard, and he made it look easy. This kid's good. So is Anthony. Anthony's way good. Probably the most experienced kid on the Leominster wrestling staff. He's gone through a youth program. He's just a good kid, too. Just a good kid. Yeah, he's looking for a heel pick. So you see when he pulls him sideways, he's looking for, Yeah, that's the setup. This kid doesn't mess around. This kid doesn't mess around. Yeah, okay. Kid knows his way around a wrestler. Huh. Anthony's got his work cut out for him. Stay in, stay in, stay in. Yeah. Face, yep. As long as 2 points of contact remain in the circle. 2 points of contact in the circle is okay. Take the 1. Yeah, pick him up, pick him up. Take the 2. Yeah, you know what? That was a nice flipping move there. Well, this is probably an opportunity to talk about injuries in wrestling. Quite frankly, it is one of the safest sports if you look at them all comparatively. I think the reason's kind of simple. You take away the equipment and you don't hit any harder than you can take. Not sure the site of the injury here, so we're going to have to wait and see. I don't know if it was his head. At first I thought it was his shoulder, but he is permitted injury time, so he has time to return to the match. If he is unable to continue or unwilling, Anthony will get the win for Leominster. Anthony gets the win. Okay, so Anthony gets the win at 52, and then Athol not able to produce a 160-pounder. We take another 6 for that, so we're quickly racking up points after the first 2 forfeits here. So here we have one more of Leominster seniors. This lad, although a senior, is a first-year wrestler, and I'm guessing that's not the case for Athol. Just my guess. Sometimes you can tell how people bring themselves into the arena. This Athol lad is way more experienced than our Leominster wrestler, and you look at the bridge, you look at the fight, he doesn't want to die, but tonight he does. Best you can do is die not wanting to die and trying not to. Good kid, good kid. All right, so Athol pulls 6 for that, bringing their score to 18. Leominster, 33. I think I'm looking at 2 wrestlers that are pretty comparable in ability. So I think this is going to be a match that is close. I think the skill level to me is looking comparable. So what we have here is blood, and it's handled very differently today than it was years ago. Honestly, years ago we wrestled it, and I'm not saying that was the right thing to do, but it is what we did. And now, with transmission of disease, the deference is to safety at the first sight of blood. No matter how small, the match is stopped. Blood will be removed from wherever it is found. The mat will be inspected, the wrestler will be attended to, and blood will be stopped. And if it's a nosebleed, which is the most common, his nose will be packed, and the match will continue. Okay, so we're back at it. Minute and a half remaining in the first period. Athol wrestler finds a leg. Usually that results in a takedown. When it doesn't, generally it's an indicator that you have a very, very new wrestler. Single and double leg takedowns are just fundamentals. One of the first things you'll learn, and if you haven't learned it, you're still at the starting gate, and that's a okay place to be. I just bring that up because it gives me some indication of the experience level of the wrestler. And I think both wrestlers have an experience level of probably first year. And that stoppage is, again, blood related. Minute and a half into the match, we've had 2 stoppages. And you see the referee and the coach are locating any areas where blood is found on the mat. They have an agent that kills any bacteria, and it's promptly wiped up. Both wrestlers again will be cleaned up. Athol is over at the med station so that he can be cleaned up with any blood that is on him. Yeah, this blood time stuff is, well, honestly, for me, it's a little tedious, but it's necessary to clean this stuff up. Well, we're blowing through these matches. Again, with this one, we're a minute and a half through. We got 27 seconds left in the first period. Tough to, you know, this one, it's tough to say which way this is going to go. I'd say they're both pretty even. Probably the one that makes the fewest mistakes. They both, so that reaching back is a mistake, and the fact that the opponent doesn't know what to do about it is no indication that it you know, wasn't a mistake. He had never reached back. And as he has more opponents, you make that fatal error a few times, and the learning is committed to muscle memory, if you will. Okay, first period comes to an end. Score 2-2. Not a surprise, given that they both are fairly equal. Okay, so Leominster had choice again, deferring. And you'll see whenever that occurs, the choice made is normally to be on the bottom. It's a place where most wrestlers just have some intuitive capability. Son of a gun, you know, boy, talk about inexperience. He put himself into a pinning combination by doing a cradle incorrectly. So he dug a bit of a hole for himself. And the score is 6-4. So he started on top, was a reversal, and then 2 points for that and 2 points for back points. 6-2. Athol is fairly good in the top position. If he puts Leominster's shoulders to the back again, that hole might be too big for him to get out of. 2 more. Now he's racking up. That looks like 3 potential pin. Yep. Okay. That's how that ends. Some mistakes are fatal. Suddenly it's 24-33. And here we are at 182. 182 pound class. I'm saying Athol looks a bit like a beast. I think he's clocked some miles in the gym and on the mats. We'll see how this goes. Try to heel pick, single leg, right to the back. This guy, wow. Nice job, Lemonster. Nice job. Okay, so takedown right to his. It's really, really tough to get off your back when you have a strong opponent putting you on your back. Kudos to this Lemonster wrestler, Caleb, I think. We're 1 minute into the match. We're looking at 4-0. This is a really tough pinning combination to get out of. Athol's just not going to give this up. Takes a while to set it up, but once you got it, you don't give it up because it's near deadly. And we'll see here if Lemonster can fight this pin off. If he does, I give this kid, wow. Okay, this Lemonster kid is, God, he's a fighter, this kid. Man, that was like way tough to get out of. Good for him. Good for him. You know, sometimes you wrestle a beast like this and all you want to do is just, you just want it to happen because you just want it to end. Nice job, Lemonster. Stay the course. Okay, so Athol gets choice and chooses top. And so the reason he chose top is based on confidence. He believes he's going to beat this opponent, and the top position affords him more opportunity to set a pin. He's not looking for starting on the bottom and getting a 2-point. Yeah, see, that's why you don't reach back, because an experienced wrestler is just going to say thank you. And in this case, he's converted it to a chicken wing. And this lad is strong as a Russian bull. He's going to take that chicken wing and step over his head soon, because this kid is strong enough to assert his will. More back points being racked up. I gotta tell you, nice job, Lemonster. Nice job. I've never seen a kid get out of so many deadly pinning combinations. Tell you, if you're Athol, you're wondering what the heck's wrong with you. But I tell you, this kid is just made of something else. He getting beat up. But man, this kid ain't quitting. Now here Athol's worked into a cradle. Cradles, 10 times out of 10, are gonna be pins. These are way tough to get out of. Son of a gun, he breaks that one too. I like this Leominster wrestler, I gotta tell you. No, you get beat up like this and you don't quit, man, I tell you, that's gonna serve him well in life. He's just a fighter. He's just a fighter. Kind of reminds me of Rocky. Just getting hammered. Yeah, he locked hands. Yeah. Okay, so that's another point for Athol, 11-0. But you know, there's a huge difference between a 3-point decision and a 6-point pin. And that's what this kid is fighting for. And you know what? That's worth fighting for. It helps your team. It helps your team. And that's what he's trying to do. Right now the score is 13-0 Athol. Athol's going to get more points here. So what's going to happen here, if this kid can get out, if Leominster can get out of it, if Caleb can get out of this one last time, he can, he couldn't, he tried. That's all he had. That's all he had. So that's 6 over to Athol. So that brings the score up to 30-33. Wow. So, and there you have it. All right. Well, here we are. It's supposed to be 220. Athol looks young to me. But weight is a factor up here, and some sense it doesn't matter how strong you are, you're handling weight that is very, very heavy. Leominster gets a quick takedown, and we really need this pin, and he needs to deliver a pin for the team right there. There's 6 up on the board, bringing us to 39-30. Okay, so here we have our heavyweight coming up, Zach. And Zach's a senior. And he's a very, very athletic kid. And he is a quick study. Very, very good wrestler. Zach is smart. Zach is patient. Zach is methodical, maintains a high degree of balance, which at this weight is essential, because no matter how good you are, it's pretty tough to have your way with an opponent that is running about 280 pounds. You can make a fatal error pretty quick. Zach pins him. Nice job, nice job. Now, honestly, and Zach knows it, he didn't wrestle a tough opponent, but you still have to wrestle smart. first period pin, delivering 6, which brings final score 45-30. Leominster goes home with the win tonight. This will be fun. When you're in college, you'll look back at your high school wrestling, and you'll remember your senior night in the Wood Gym, and you'll look at the tape. Oh, look at me there! You'll be a CEO somewhere, and you'll show this to the team, the staff that you lead.
I hope so.
You're going on to college, eh?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I'm going yet, though.
What's your interest?
Business or economics.
Okay.
In that realm.
Yeah. You think you might like to run an operation?
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's a long way from now, but
yeah.
Not really, but
it'll sneak up on you.
Yeah.
It really, really will. But hey, Zach, so I wanted to talk to you. One reason that I wanted to talk to you, I remember the first time I saw you. I don't know if you remember what I said to you, but I watched you on the mat. You caught my attention, and you have in 2 years. So this is your second year, right?
yes.
Second year. And what you've accomplished in 2 short years is crazy. So I'm just going to ask you to talk a little bit about your first year and what that was like, and how things are going for you this year.
Well, my first year was a little scary because I've never even watched the sport before, and I was coming into it 2 weeks into the season, not knowing anything. I started off with a win, and then I just kept winning. I had a couple tough matches and made my way to states, but didn't place in states.
So why start wrestling? I mean, you never did it. Well, why'd you pick it up?
Because I knew it would help me become a better football player, and it helps with balance and leg strength.
Yeah, and you had, I remember watching you, you just had uncanny balance. What position you play in football?
Defensive line.
You're on the defensive line. So you won your first match, and what'd that feel like?
It was great. I went into it. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how it was going to go, what to do.
Yeah.
But I came out on top.
Yeah. Do you remember what your record was?
19-4.
Your first year of wrestling?
Yes.
19-4.
Yeah.
What's your record right now?
20-1.
20-1. Wow. You got to feel good about that, eh?
I do, yeah.
You got to feel way good about that. It's a lot of hard work, eh?
Yeah, it is.
So you started to really supplement football, and why do you stay?
What do you mean?
Why do you stay with wrestling?
Oh, I mean, I like the competition. I like going against hard opponents and pushing into that third round, not knowing what's going to happen, and fighting to the death, or fighting to whoever will win.
Yeah, it's funny you use that term, death. I think some wrestlers take it really seriously. And so, that term will slip out. You don't mean it literally, but for some wrestlers, that is the way they see it. And I think for some, when you see it that way, there's a level of contribution that is extreme.
Definitely.
And it's kind of exciting to see it come out of yourself. Sometimes you don't even know what's in there until it comes out.
I know.
So this year, you're, what are you, halfway through the season now?
Yeah, just about.
Just about halfway through the season.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll probably continue on this same pace, you could rack up quite a number in terms of total wins.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I want to get to, I don't know if it's going to be possible, but I'd love to get to 50, at least with both combined seasons.
Oh, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? How many more dual match? Well, it's not just dual anymore because you have tournaments that you go to.
We have a dual match this weekend, and then I think we have one more tournament before sectionals. I'm not sure, though. And then a couple other single meets. So.
Yeah, it could be hard because one of the things that happens with good wrestlers is they take the short route to the finals. when they just go right through winning the winning bracket. But if you lose and you go down in consolations, then you get a chance to wrestle back up.
Yeah.
So you'll get more bouts. But 50, that's a pretty sweet number. Now, would that be a school record?
I have no idea.
Yeah. 50 is a nice number, though. So I was going to ask you something else, too, about, one of the things that you think is different about this sport. You play football.
Mm-hmm.
I played 3 different team sports in addition to wrestling myself. I walked away saying there's something a little different about this sport, and I'm curious if you feel that way about it.
I do think there's something different about this sport. It's just you out there in the mat. You can't rely on anyone but yourself, and I like that aspect of it. You can't rely on anyone to help you, anyone to mess up. It's all on you. That's why I like it.
The win is all on you, and so is the loss.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's interesting. I completely agree. I share that sentiment. And one of the things that I think that turns kids away from the sport is that, too. The inability to handle that weight is just, it seems like today that can be just too much for kids to deal with.
Yeah, that and the toughness of the sport, the conditioning, the mat toughness, getting cross-faced.
Yeah, there's a lot of physical pain in it. Yeah. What happens to you when you're getting beat up? I assume that loss was a match where you got beat up.
It was a close match. I lost 7-6. We went all the way through the 3 periods, and it was back and forth the whole time. I wish I could take it back. I feel like now that I'm halfway through the season, I could have a better chance, and I will see that kid later on this year.
You will?
Yeah.
What team?
Quabbin.
Ooh, Quabbin's always good.
Yeah.
So, do you feel you looking forward to seeing that kid again?
Yes, I am.
You are?
Yeah.
It reminds me of a sectionals. I think it was junior year or senior year, one of those, but it was really important. Wrestled the kid, and I lost. So I dropped down into the consolation round, only to come back and see him again there.
Really?
I was really scared.
Mm-hmm.
And what I remember is being scared, and that resulted in a determination in me that was like I had never experienced before. I went on to beat him, and I either got second or third in the sectionals as a result of that. But it's interesting that the sport puts you in situations where it is just you. You don't get to take anything out on that mat. There's no equipment. There's no equipment. You're the equipment.
Yeah.
You go out with with what you have, your physical, your mental, and the drive that you have, and the determination that you can muster, and you make things happen essentially because of who and what you are, and that's a unique part of this sport, and I think it really makes kids mature more so than if they had not enjoyed the sport. Now, I think it can happen in any sport, but this sport, the way it's laid out, I do think it's unique that you walk on yourself, you walk off yourself. That's it.
Definitely. And mental toughness is honestly, might be a bigger part than physical toughness. Being on the mat and fighting until the end when you're tired, that's all mental. And if you can't get through that, you can't wrestle.
And that's, I think, for heavyweights, that's a big component.
Definitely.
Do you have any? How does that work for you? Because you went your loss. You had 1 or 2 overtime periods. So you're in a place where you're just your whole body is screaming. What do you do to keep going when your body doesn't want to keep going?
You just think about a victory.
You do.
Yep, that's what gets me through it. And you can't think about what you're feeling. Think about what you're going to do to your opponent.
So in some respects, would you say you don't feel the pain?
I feel the pain after, but the adrenaline that I have during the match, I don't feel it during the match.
Yeah, yeah.
But after, the next morning, I definitely feel it.
You do?
Yeah, sometimes.
It's sore muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah, aches and pains,
Yeah.
Injury stuff that you didn't feel at the time.
I don't know. I'd never feel anything at the time, but after I will.
Yeah. That ability to block that out is, I think it's such an asset. And when you go on to into business school, you're really going to have the same set of circumstances are always presented. We always get more than we can handle. And employment, I'm sure your parents, you've watched them in their jobs. There's always an overwhelm or an overload state. I don't care if it's it doesn't matter where. Anything. And it's what you do in those moments. And in your case, I see the victory. Not everybody sees the victory. Some people see the couch, a dark room. I got to get out of here. They see a drink. They just see escape. But I think if you can start by doing some things that are hard and see the little victories and see the strength that grows, then you can develop that pattern.
Definitely doesn't just come to you. You have to work at it.
I think that's a great point. And I think there's a great showing today. I talked to Coach, and I think he's done an amazing job with the kids over the 10 years. And he's got a good showing this year. And a lot of first-year seniors. Why do you think so many first-year seniors? Because that's a tough decision at that age.
I know. A lot of them are going into the military or the Navy, so I feel like a lot of them are doing it to get into good shape.
Yeah. It served Cash well.
Yeah.
He flew through basic.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and he flew right through, pun intended, airborne school, too.
Oh, really?
The physical was just easy.
Wow.
Yeah. Zach, it was great to see you tonight here. Senior night, seeing this was a gym where we used to wrestle back in the 70s.
Oh, really?
I think, maybe we had about as many fans, but this is a special place. It's a special sport, and I wish you a ton of luck going into the States this year.
Thank you very much.
And you'll be carrying, I think you'll carry Leominster into the States. There might only be one of us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I hope it's you.
Thank you.
You're a good kid.